I was really deciding to work on my car today, but I'm really late. So I don't think this is how I should start a video, especially for my first one. But whatever. I guess I'm gonna start tomorrow. Tonight I'm just gonna relax and wind, watch some anime, and get started on the S13 tomorrow. Alright. Alright, clutch removal day 1. The first thing you gotta start off with is removing the shifter. I already went ahead and removed the center console, as you can see here. And I already removed the shifter itself. Throw that bad boy down here. And now time to remove the actual shifter boot placement. The shifter assembly, sorry. So let me get started with that. You can either take these bolts off with a 10mm ratchet or a screwdriver with the cross pattern on it. Alright, so let's get to removing. Of course, you gotta put these in a safe place. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's go ahead and start moving it. First, you take this one off. Go ahead and take the actual shifter placement off. And there's already oil, so maybe I should just get some gloves on after this. Alright, so now you want to start off by removing the other dust boot, which is going to be a little bit harder just because this one isn't in a while. You just pull up, and what I like to do, of course, isn't really the best idea, but flip it just so you can get to the other spots. And of course, you're going to see all these dowel pins here. And this is going to be the fun part because I myself do not have C-clip removers, right? So the other, I don't have C-clip removers. So the other best thing I like to do is use a screwdriver, which this one is actually too big. So let's see if I can find another substitute for that. I'll find it out. I need a minute, cold water to the face. I couldn't finish, got the Uber from a place on my porch, smoking vapor, hit with the Sunday paper, listening to the news. Either I'm probably gonna have to move it the other way, because I'm pretty sure these haven't been removed in a while. So, here we go. Alrighty, so actually my camera died, but so far I managed to get the drive shaft out, which is down there. It's a one-piece drive shaft from the drive shaft shop, which I got from Injufu Racing. And second, I actually made a shadow board with all the bolts. So the transmission is actually almost out right now. I'm actually leaving everything how it is. I tried cleaning up as much as a mess I could, but I already got most of them out. And now it's just time to take this out, but I'm actually just going to remove from the bolts there from the inside. So in there, which I'm going to do once the transmission's a little bit lower. But first thing, I mean, I'm still in school, so I'm going to be going to class first. I'll probably be doing this later tonight. So I'll be finishing that up, and I'll be back for that. And this right here is my daily 92 Miata NA6. Alright, it is now 5:52 and I just got out of class. Now I'm heading out to finish what I gotta finish. Let's go. Alright, just got home. And time to get started on the S13 again. Alright, so from the looks of it, actually, I think I'm also, well, actually I'm pretty sure I also have to replace my rear main seal just because it looks like it got fried. Because I don't even see a pilot bushing in there anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the flywheel tomorrow morning because all the parts stores are closed and I need to grab that special key for those. I'm not sure if that's how they come stock or if they come with an ARP or if that's like an ARP stud. Not 100% sure, but I'll double check. And that flywheel also needs to be resurfaced. And that's all there. But I know I cooked my clutch. Here's the transmission, I got it out. But as you can see, I actually did fry my clutch. It was on the first drift day too, so yeah, when I bought the car, or when I bought the engine off the previous owner, he said that he swapped it in, had maybe about 5,000 miles in it, and I just abused the hell out of it. Not bad, but I mean, I'm still learning. But yeah, so from the look of it, everything looks a little bit rusty. There's a lot of oil, so I'm pretty sure it could be the rear main seal. Luckily, I haven't driven around that much. I mean, and pushed that hard. So yeah, good thing I did this. But if you take a look at this right here, look at that thing. This is the clutch for it. And that pressure plate looks kinda no bueno. Let me manual to this real quick. Yeah, so that plate looks like it's no bueno. So let's take a look at this, go in some of the light. So here's the clutch itself, and actually, you know what? This clutch is fully done. There's nothing on there left. From the looks of it. I mean, it still grabs somewhat. It's first and second gear, but it started slipping in second gear too. So now, and clutch nut. I've never really heard of this brand, but you know, they might be a good brand. I haven't tried it. The pressure plate looks nice and hefty. If you look here, I recently bought a 6-foot clutch off of eBay. Of course, you know, eBay is not very renowned for their parts, but worth a shot, I'd say. I mean, I was hoping I can use the same clutch and everything, but replace the minimal parts like the release bearing and the pilot bushing itself. But I'm not sure if this pressure plate is going to hold for my application. This one has a lot more pressure, but I don't know if I want to risk it. And if you look here, it's an upgrade to a 6-puck. And this, of course, I want to try it. It's from XTR. I mean, it looks fairly good. I just want to try it out. I mean, 88 bucks, especially for something I just want to beat around, you know? It'll be kind of fun. So yeah, I'd say it's worth a shot. So yeah, this is going to be going into my SR20, DET, S13 SR, into my S14. And yeah, let's see how it goes. It's eBay, so you know, sometimes, you know, actually most of the time it's going to be fucked up. But I think it's going to be fun. It'll be a fun job to do. Yeah, I mean, it probably took all day. Got everything removed the transmission, had to remove it the other way because, you know, previous owner kind of messed with a couple things. But I like it. It looks good. So we're going to go try it out. Alright, so day 2 is going to be to take that flywheel and get it resurfaced, go to machine shop, and that's pretty much it for my day. The thing is, I'm still waiting for the ARP flywheel bolts and the ARP pressure plate bolts, which are going to come in later on in the week. Actually next week, because you know it's Friday today. I don't know when this is coming up. But after that, I can get the rest of the build going on the eBay clutch. And just for the hell of it. I mean, I just want to see if it works well. If it does, then holy shit, but I just saved myself a good amount of money. But if it doesn't, you know, I still have something to go back on. I still have my daily. That's more of a of a fun street. I mean, that's more of a fun drift car. And you know, who knows? Maybe it'll be really fun. And hopefully it does work. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and deliver that flywheel, and right after that I'm going to go grab some lunch, just because, you know, I have class in a couple hours. Actually, class in maybe two hours, so hopefully I'll have enough time for that. Let's go. Alright, and I'm pulling up right now. Alright, I just dropped off the flywheel, and now he said for me to come back in about an hour, 45 minutes, won't take that long. So I'm just gonna go grab a quick bite and then pick it up and have class. Okay, so now I picked up the flywheel and it's all resurfaced, but I'm still gonna be waiting for the parts of the pressure plate as well as the flywheel bolts. That's all I'm waiting on. And then she can go in, and actually, I also had to remove the rear main seal just because it's leaking a lot, so I don't want to deal with any more oil problems on there, just because, especially with SRs, they're very reliant on the oil, more apart from other cars. But apart from that, so far so good, and you know, it'll be way better eventually. Okay, so now it's actually been a week and I just received my parts from FR Sports, as you can see right there. And let's see what they got. Okay, so let me set this up some. Alright, so let's see what we got. Okay, so packaging seems pretty alright. So now, let's see. It shows right there what I got. We can focus that. There you go. So ordered 3 things. Alright, so those 3 things were going to consist of the flywheel bolts for the SR20, which is going to be those, and it comes with its own fastener assembly lubricant, which is pretty nice to use, as well as the pressure plate bolts. Of course, this one is labeled for the RB26. Focus, there you go, RB26, but it will, it should fit, according to the reviews. If not, then I'll just replace them, but it should. And the last thing I ordered was going to be this right here, which is a short shifter for my SR. I mean, I haven't gotten one before, so I think it should be nice. Alright, smell, let me just open it. Ooh, it's kind of greased up, so there you go. Okay, and of course it comes with a brand new bushing for the shifter and pre-greased already. And it looks like good. Oh, it has its own snap ring on it and everything. Alright, so that does look really nice. As well as I'm probably going to RTV around it. I mean, I don't have a gasket for it, and I'm probably not going to wait for it when I install the eBay clutch. But of course, this thing does feel really heavy and really good material. I mean, I'm not looking for weight reduction as much right now, especially for this. As for the threading, it does look good. So yeah, basically, it does look good, and it comes with removable springs. So I'm going to do that when I install the gear oil into the engine. But overall, it looks nice. I mean, I got this basically for about, altogether was about $100. Well, the most expensive being the ARP parts. But as for this one was about $50. I forgot the brand. Let's see if it says it. Gent 5. So Gent 5 was actually really good. Well, it's a pretty sturdy material, so I mean, I'll probably give a review on it later on, especially for the short shifter. I mean, $50 is pretty cheap. I mean, you have ISR ones for about almost $100, and those are really, really popular. So if this one here can compete with that, then by all means. All right, so now let's get to installing them. All right, so now I'm actually here in my garage again. I'm here in my garage, just bought a new brand Lamborghini. Terrible. Okay, sorry, I'm a little delusional right now. It is currently 1:06 in the morning. So I'm gonna leave that there. So right now I'm actually going to install the new ARP studs for the flywheel as well as the pressure plate. And I'm also going to install the brand new shifter that I have right here, apart from the old one that I already removed before this. And of course, I don't have a gasket for it, so I'm going to just supply RTV around it and make sure it's a nice seal. And hand tighten it first of all, let it sit for an hour. While I let that sit for an hour, I'm going to install these in, and then just fully tighten it. And of course, the short shifter is going to be installed after that. Alright, so apart from anything else, the only good spot would be right here. So, of course, let me go ahead and actually remove this. I think I might have a razor somewhere, so let me grab that. Alright, so I currently don't have any scissors, so I'm going to use the edge, or I don't have any razors, so I'm going to use the edge of scissors to take this off. Oh, never mind. Actually, it was down here. I didn't even notice that. So there's actually a razor down here, so I'm going to go ahead and use this. Brand new. Alright, let's go ahead and remove the rest. Is there any room in there for me? Alright. Oops. Alright, so now with that, we can get started. Alright, so now with that, we can get started and add our Mega Blue RTV gasket. So basically, it's just like a regular silicon gasket. That's for all purpose. Let's go ahead and apply that. Alright, one thing I like to do for this, just to make sure it is perfectly inserted, is of course grab some of the remaining oil that's in there and just run it along to the sides. So basically I use MT90 gear oil, red line, which is honestly my personal favorite just because of the way once it warms up, it's really smooth. Of course, it's a little grabby in the beginning, but of course, I mean, you don't like anything cold, right? So once that's done, I'm going to put this to the side and then run this around with gasket. Yeah. Alright, so basically, here's the comparisons of the two. Of course, this one's going to be a little bit stiffer. It's much shorter on the throw. Alright, it's a way stiffer compared to this one, compared to the OEM shifter, which is very, very, wobbly and everything. Of course, this one's more for the cooler feel. I like long throws, but of course, for something for my particular option, which is of course drifting, I'd really like to try a short throw, just to be there. You know what I mean? All right, and of course, you're going to want to tighten it. Of course, hand tighten first, and then with a 12 mil, you go around. I usually like to do a star pattern, so you go from the outside in, and that should be doing the trick right there. So let's go ahead and install this real quick. But let me go ahead and get started with the RTV. Okay, once all the RTV is evenly distributed around, then you're ready to insert. So since my gloves are dirty and I don't have any other gloves around me at the moment, okay, so then you insert this one carefully, make sure it doesn't touch a lot of RTV. There you go. So then, let me just remove this real quick. Then, the next thing you're going to want to do is then install. So, let's quickly get one of these out. And of course, line up with the shifter part. And it should just go straight in. There you go, straight in, like I said. Okay, so of course after hand tightening everything down, this thing looks pretty good. So of course now it's settling in, so now I can tighten it a little bit more now. And just give it a couple hand turns. This one's still threading in. So from there it looks good, I'd say. And now there's first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And of course, you also have reverse. Now, on to doing the ARP parts, which is these. But let me just double check and make sure they're the right sizes. I know that this one's going to be the right size because it's perfect for SR20s. Okay, so by the looks of it, looks like it's the exact same threading, but there's just a little bit of a difference when it comes to the spacing there, which shouldn't be that much of a problem, I'd say, but it should still work. Of course, this is just an eBay build, so I mean, hopefully nothing goes wrong. Pray to God, but I hope it doesn't, and I know it won't. But also by the looks of it, it looks like these have no thread there compared to the OEM ones that have thread all the way through, which is also interesting. And that is good to know. So let's go ahead and install this already. Okay, so two things. It's to actually clean both the flywheel as well as the sandwich plate with brake cleaner. The sandwich plate just is really dirty just because it had a small or pretty decent leak in the rear main seal, which I patched up already. So now I have to of course clean them up. I mean, this one's a little has some residue on it. It'll go away with the brake cleaner. So let's get started with that. Alrighty, so let's get to cleaning. Okay, so now that that's done, that's my to-do list. And actually, so install flywheel, pressure plate, and clutch. Install that as well. Assemble transmission, like putting the throwout bearing, pilot bushing, all that good stuff. Oil change with fuel, with full synthetic. So I actually had to drain the oil just because, you know, I was due, so just might as well do it now. And tighten turbo downpipe. Of course, there's been a small leak in mine, so I actually had to tighten it. And then assemble everything. So that's actually going to be my whole plan. Right now I'm actually going to get started in removing the oil filter, because the oil has been drained now. But there is still a full vacuum in there for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see, where can I remove it from? Okay, just because of difficulties of there being no space down there, I'm actually just going to complete all of the things I needed to complete. Like put in the pilot bushing. Oh, that's one thing I should have written on the to-do list. But put in the pilot bushing, as well as install the flywheel, sandwich plate, pressure plate, and the clutch. Once all those things are in, I'll just get back to you guys and I'll let you guys know. Because of course there's actually nothing to prop you guys down there with, so let me just go ahead and get this job done quickly. Right now, it is 2:11 right now. So I could probably get this done about 3 in the morning, and I should just be getting some rest for tomorrow. And then tomorrow I'll probably be completing this, grabbing the oil for the SR, putting it in, and starting her up with the new clutch. Of course, an eBay clutch, but of course I'll give you guys a review on that and see how it works, especially with the new short shifter that's in. And of course I'll be giving the Gen 5 short shifter a nice little review and see how that works. Of course, looking at the similarities between the ISR short shifter and the Gen 5, they look almost similar, if anything, just that the other one was more of like a, just a golder finish. Honestly, this one's more of like a matte black. So I don't know if that's going to play a different part, but the shifters look the same and the assembly looked almost the same as well. Okay, and that's how it's looking with everything already set up, with the clutch, the pressure plate, as well as you can see here, let me angle myself a little bit better, the pilot bushing. It's all the way in there. You can probably see it, just like a little hint of it. So with that all in, I am now going to install the transmission. Of course, I cleaned the inside and I put in a brand new throwout bearing. So that will help out. Hopefully it's not shit, or hopefully it's not bad. And of course the new short shifter is already installed as well. So let's get to installing that. Okay, as for the to-do list, as you can see I already checked off some. So the flywheel is installed, the pressure plate and clutch is installed. Alright, hope it lasts long, that's what I put. Assemble transmission is still ready. But first I'm going to tighten the turbo downpipe because that one is actually creating a little leak. But good thing at least it's after the O2 sensor. And oil change. So I went ahead and purchased the 10W30, of course, here in, of course over here on the West Coast, it's a little bit warmer. So there you go. Advanced full synthetic motor oil, which is going to go in the SR. And I went with a little bit thinner MT85, so this one's going to help out with the gear shifting, which actually I really like a lot. And of course this is closer to OEM Nissan spec. Usually the viscosity isn't that big of a difference, but this one's close to the OEM spec and it's a little bit thinner compared to the MT90. So we're going to go with this one, and it's going to go in the main transmission. And usually it would take 2.5 quarts. I already have another one of MT85, so it's going to be right there. Alright, so now I have installed the transmission and it's time to put in the oils. So let's get started with that. Alright, so I just installed the Gent 5 short throw shifter, or short shifter, which is actually pretty nice. It's working good. And not too much of play compared to the other shifter I had. And actually, I'm going to be reviewing this as well, just because, I mean, it was about $50, and it just seemed to work nice. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Not bad. I actually do like it a lot. Alright, so now let's get into installing all the interior again. Just because this whole assembly is all finished, and now I also need to assemble the drive shaft, which is just the bolts on the back. Alrighty, so now everything is installed, and I already primed the oil, so now just time to crank it on. It hasn't had oil in a while, so right now I'm just letting it warm up. Alright, she's now running. Alright, she is now all primed up and everything. Alright, so excuse the hair, but everything's already good, and I mean, I'm just gonna let it warm up real quick, let the oil circulate, and of course, just clean everything around in the clean everything around in the garage, and then probably also take it for a little test drive, just because it's been a week since I've done this. So I mean, she sounds good, so that's a good thing, right? And of course, I'm also be giving a review on the Gen 5 short shifter. Of course, right now it's a little sticky, so hopefully it doesn't stick as much after the process is done, but let's see how it works.